for some time past. This was that I had 17 quid which nobody else had heard about. Nobody in the family, that is. It had happened this way. A chap in our firm, Mellors by name, had got hold of a book called Astrology Applied to Horse Racing, which proved that it's all a question of the influence of the planets on the colours the jockey is wearing. Well, in some race or other, there was a mare called Corsair's Bride, a complete outsider, but her jockey's colour was green, which it seemed was just the colour for the planets that happened to be in the ascendant. Mellors, who was deeply bitten with this astrology business, was putting several quid on the horse and went down on his knees to me to do the same. In the end, chiefly to shut him up, I risked 10 bob, though I don't bet as a general rule. Sure enough, Corsair's Bride came home in a walk. I forget the exact odds, but my share worked out at 17 quid. By a kind of instinct, rather queer and probably indicating another landmark in my life, I just quietly put the money in the bank and said nothing to anybody. I'd never done anything of this kind before. A good husband and father would have spent it on a dress for Hilda, that's my wife, and boots for the kids. But I'd been a good husband and father for 15 years, and I was beginning to get fed up with it. After I'd soaped myself all over, I felt better and lay down in the bath to think about my 17 quid and what to spend it on. The alternatives, it seemed to me, were either a weekend with a woman or dribbling it quietly away on odds and ends such as cigars and double whiskies. I'd just turned on some more hot water and was thinking about women and cigars when there was a noise like a herd of buffaloes coming down the 2 steps that lead to the bathroom. It was the kids, of course. 2 kids in a house the size of ours is like a quart of beer in a pint mug. There was a frantic stamping outside and then a yell of agony. "Dada, I want to come in." "Well, you can't. Clear out." "But Dada, I want to go somewhere." "Go somewhere else then. Hop it. I'm having my bath." "Dada, I want to go somewhere." No use. I knew the danger signal. The WC is in the bathroom. It would be, of course, in a house like ours. I hooked the plug out of the bath and got partially dry as quickly as I could. As I opened the door, little Billy, my youngest, aged 7, shot past me, dodging the smack which I aimed at his head. It was only when I was nearly dressed and looking for a tie that I discovered that my neck was still soapy. It's a rotten thing to have a soapy neck. It gives you a disgusting, sticky feeling, and the queer thing is that however carefully you sponge it away, when you've once discovered that your neck is soapy, you feel sticky for the rest of the day. I went downstairs in a bad temper and ready to make myself disagreeable. Our dining room, like the other dining rooms in Ellesmere Road, is a poky little place, 14 feet by 12, or maybe it's 12 by 10, and the Japanese oak sideboard with the 2 empty decanters and the silver egg stand that Hilda's mother gave us for a wedding present doesn't leave much room. Old Hilda was glooming behind the teapot in her usual state of alarm and dismay because the News Chronicle had announced that the price of butter was going up or something. She hadn't lighted the gas fire, and though the windows were shut, it was beastly cold. I bent down and put a match to the fire, breathing rather loudly through my nose, bending always makes me puff and blow, as a kind of hint to Hilda. She gave me the little sidelong glance that she always gives me when she thinks I'm doing something extravagant. Hilda is 39, and when I first knew her she looked just like a hare. So she does still, but she's got very thin and rather wizened with a perpetual brooding, worried look in her eyes, and when she's more upset than usual, she's got a trick of humping her shoulders and folding her arms across her breast, like an old gypsy woman over her fire. She's one of those people who get their main kick in life out of foreseeing disasters. Only petty disasters, of course. As for wars, earthquakes, plagues, famines and revolution, she pays no attention to them. Butter is going up and the gas bill is enormous and the kids' boots are wearing out and there's another instalment due on the radio. That's Hilda's litany. She gets what I've finally decided is a definite pleasure out of rocking herself to and fro with her arms across her breast and glooming at me. "But George, it's very serious. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know where the money's coming from. You don't seem to realise how serious it is," and so on and so forth. It's fixed firmly in her head that we shall end up in the workhouse. The funny thing is that if we ever do get to the workhouse, Hilda won't mind it a quarter as much as I shall. In fact, she'll probably rather enjoy the feeling of security. The kids were downstairs already, having washed and dressed at lightning speed, as they always do when there's no chance to keep anyone else out of the bathroom. When I got to the breakfast table, they were having an argument which went to the tune of, "Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't," and looked like going on for the rest of the morning until I told them to cheese it. There were only the 2 of them, Billy aged 7 and Lorna aged 11.